I think if you ask most people, they would agree that they want to invest more money into the stock market. We know the long-term returns of the stock market are overwhelmingly positive. If you ask someone what they're going to be doing in 10 years from now as a job, they probably have no idea. But unlike most things in our lives, the stock market 10 years from now, if I was a betting man and I had to bet which direction the stock market was going to go 10 years from now, I would be betting on it going up. Investing in the stock market is a great way to build wealth, but I feel like most people want to find ways to invest more money, but it's very difficult to put your money on the line. There is an inherent risk with investing in the stock market, and people know that, especially during times like this when you see so many headlines about geopolitical problems, you have rising inflation rates, you have all this fear in the world, and that fear just paralyzes people from investing into the stock market. So I wanted to talk in today's video about 2 ways that I've found was successful in my life to invest more money without, taking the cop out of, I've seen videos like this of how to invest more money. Just make more money. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk on this channel about investing in a broad sense. This channel was created to try to encourage people that are in a lower tax bracket, normal people. I'm 25, I make less than $40,000 a year, and I still find a way to invest consistently into the stock market. I wanted to share my experiences so that hopefully you can find ways to divert some of the money that maybe could be used to invest but isn't currently, because it's so hard to take that leap and put money into an investment account that you don't know if it's going to go up or down. But in the long term, the stock market on average goes up 7 to 10% per year. Some years it's going to go up, some years it's going to go down, but over a long term, it's going to go up. So number one, and I think what made the biggest change for me was treating my investing account like a savings account. This doesn't have to be a growth portfolio. If you've seen growth stocks in the past couple months, they have gotten absolutely crushed. I'm talking about my dividend stocks, stuff that is relatively stable compared to the overall market. And I always talk in this channel, I pick stocks that have outperformed the S&P 500 since 1995 because it gives a wide variety of times of the market going straight up, you have crazy valuations, and you have times of recessions, you have bear markets. You have all the experience of these stocks that are going to do well. That's why I put them into my savings account, because savings accounts are meant to be something that you only need as a safety net. I decided around 9 months ago that I did not want to have a savings account with my bank. One of the consequences of the pandemic was that interest rates were down to 0 pretty much. So if you looked at your bank statement recently, the amount of interest that you're bringing in is negligible. And we know that inflation keeps going up. It's currently sitting around 7%. So your money is decreasing in value over time sitting in a savings account. So I decided to start treating my investment account like my savings account. This doesn't mean that you should take all of your money in a checking account, every dollar amount that's associated with your name, and throw it into the stock market. I make sure to have a safety net in my checking account. Currently, that's around 2.5 months of expenses. This is relatively risky compared to some people that I talk about. Some of my friends, if I was going to have them get started in the stock market, I'd try to give them 6 months of expenses. There is an amount of security by looking at your bank account and seeing a higher number. I 100% agree that. But right now your money is decreasing in value. So we're trying to find the balance between keeping enough money in your checking account that makes you feel safe, because we don't want to be fearful. Because if you're fearful when it comes to investing, you're likely going to be making decisions out of emotions and not based off of facts and research. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So as long as you have enough money in your checking account that you're not worried about dipping into your investing account to pay bills or just to make you feel more secure, whatever number that is for you, I think that's a great idea to look at. So the way that I have it set up is I have a current dollar mark that I look for in my checking account. I'll just share it as $4,000. If I look at my bank statement and I see a number that's over $4,000, I automatically put that into my investing account without even thinking about it. I put the $4,000 mark as what I need for my safety net to feel comfortable, and anything above that is not doing me any good. So anytime I see a number that's above $4,000, I automatically divert that money into my investing account, and that is thought of as my savings account. And if you think of it as your savings account, seeing the number go up, there's no change. If you have $100 in your checking account and you move it into your savings account, for this video, the savings account is the investing account, the money hasn't changed hands. It's still your money. You haven't lost any money at that point. It's just being diverted somewhere else. And so once I started seeing my investing account as my savings account, it took away some of the fear about, putting the money away from somewhere that's safe, like a checking account. You can't lose money in your checking account. If something happens to it, you have insurance through your bank that's going to replace that money. There is an inherent risk about investing in the stock market. But once I saw these two different types of bags to put my money in, it removed some of the stress that goes along with putting money into the market. And I think that's something that a lot of people can benefit from, is treating your investing account like your savings account. The second way that I found to invest more money just overnight is that you don't need a reason to save money. People want to have goals. Goals are one of the best ways to improve yourself over time. If you want to go to the gym more, you can set a goal of going 3 days a week. While you're at the gym, you want to lift more weights. You can set a goal of reaching, being able to bench a plate of 135 pounds. These are quantifiable goals. People like saving for specific reasons. It could be you want to go on a cruise. It could be that you want to buy a house. Maybe not in this market. Maybe you want to buy a car. I'm going to be buying a car in the next month, and that's what I've been saving for the longest time. But not needing a reason to save is one of the best mindset changes that I've had in the past year. When you don't have a reason to save and you just accept that fact, you dissociate from some of the psychological parts of putting money into your investing account. If you're trying to reach a goal, say you think of the classic putting money in a jar, you can see the money increasing over time. But if you understand the idea that you don't need a reason to save, that money is just going to be growing as time passes. We know that time is the best thing that investors have. The more time you have, it's going to allow your money to compound over time. So just getting rid of the reason to save allows you to push more money into your investing accounts than you would do otherwise. Motivation is a great thing, as if you can take motivation for putting money into your investing accounts out of the way and just think of it as, I've had my safety net at this number, anything above that, I'll push into my investing account, and understand that you don't need a reason to save, you won't be as upset with that money being transferred across. These are two ways that I've found to kind of trick my brain into being able to invest more money. Sure, I have had a couple raises in the past year that has allowed me to increase my income slightly, but it's not me going from making $35,000 a year to making $80,000 a year so I can invest more money. It was more like me making $35,000 and now I'm making $38,000 a year. So these aren't huge jumps in income, and I think these are two strategies that people can use to benefit themselves to invest in more money, especially as the market's down. One of the most famous quotes is to be fearful when people are greedy and to be greedy when people are fearful. Right now, people are pretty fearful as the market has fallen pretty significantly in 2022. And being able to divert more funds into your investment account is how I'm personally planning on building more wealth going forward. I make I think it's technically below average, $38,000 per year, but I'm using these two strategies to invest more money than probably most people, just because I try to take some of these psychological barriers to investing out of the way, and treating my investing account, specifically my dividend account, as my savings account is one of the best ways that I've seen to do that, in addition with understanding that you don't need a reason to save. Once you get these two concepts out of the way, I've found it significantly more easier to push money from my checking account into my investing portfolio without really worrying about some of the consequences of doing that. So these are two things that have helped me, and I'm very curious what type of strategies you guys have used to try to push more money into your investment account. It's a very difficult thing to do, to dissociate from the money that you've worked so hard to earn. But once you do that, that's how we know we're going to be building wealth. Inflation is a killer right now. It's 7%. So keeping your money in a checking account is not doing you any good. That's why I push my safety net to $4,000. Anything above that just gets automatically invested and is doing me a lot more good than sitting in that account. Hopefully I'll never need to touch that safety net, and hopefully you guys never will as well. But one of the things that I've learned in my behavioral investing book is that people overestimate the percentage of good things that will happen to them, and they underestimate the negative things that will happen to them. So likely life is going to get in the way. That's why we have the safety net set up. But anything above your safety net, it's not doing you any good. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button, as it would help my channel grow. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.